Space aliens. Are they here? The Pentagon is now confirming that these videos we're seeing of these little blobs flying around the skies are in fact legitimate. They are unidentified flying objects. So I saw this clip from Tucker Carlson and a guy named Jeremy Corbell over the weekend, and I did a little bit of digging. I wanted to sort of piece this together, and I wanted to share this with you because we, of course, on this channel are watching the watchers, but there are apparently watchers who are watching the watchers, which are the aliens that might be here. Here's Tucker Carlson from just this past week, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you is this video. We have a little bit of an explanation. Then we do a little bit of a deep dive onto Jeremy Corbell and some of the other sightings that we're going to be looking at. And this is not just like a conspiracy segment. Okay, the U.S. Pentagon spokesperson, Susan Gough is her name. She came out and confirmed that these images are actually authentic. So I'm going to show you that. And we also know that the Congress is set to be delivered a summary of all of the intelligence agency findings as it relates to UFOs. So that's coming up in June. It's going to be due here soon. Are we going to see it? Probably not, but let's poke around. Yeah, so you see this little pyramid thing out there. So this is actually floating around. The U.S. Navy had somebody who was taking imagery through a night vision goggle, probably recorded this on their cell phone. Don't really know the specifics on it, but you saw this little pyramid thing floating around the sky, rotating around right over one of our Navy carriers. And, you know, if you've seen these in the past, you're like, well, whatever, right? That's a balloon. That's something, I don't buy it. Well, the Defense Department confirmed it is real. Here it is over from CNN.com. The Defense Department confirms the leaked video of an unidentified aerial phenomena is real. This was taken in 2019. Defense Department says they are indeed legitimate images of unexplained objects. Okay, so that's the first one. Are they aliens? Well, the Pentagon's not confirming that. They're just confirming that they're unexplained objects. Okay. We have photos and videos of a triangle-shaped object blinking and moving through the clouds were taken by Navy personnel, says, and that was confirmed by Pentagon spokeswoman Susan Gough. She gave a statement to CNN. She also confirmed that photos of 3 unidentified flying objects, one sphere, another acorn-shaped, and one characterized as a metallic blimp, were also taken by Navy personnel. And I'm going to show you those here in a second. She said, as we have said before, to maintain operation security and to avoid disclosing information that may be useful to potential adversaries, DoD does not publicly discuss the details of either the observations or the examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designated as UAP, which I believe stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. Excuse me. All right, and so Pentagon spokesperson Susan Gough is confirming it. She also said that the UAP task force, which is the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, was created in August to investigate UFO sightings observed by the military. It has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations. So this is new, folks. Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, created in August, like last year. Navy photos and videos were published by Mystery Wire and on Extraordinary Beliefs last week, but they've been circulating online since last year. There have been a number of reports of unauthorized and or unidentified aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years, the Navy said in 2019. So what the heck is going on there? Last year, the Pentagon released 3 videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena. clips the U.S. Navy has previously confirmed were real. U.S. intelligence agencies have been directed to give unclassified reports to UAPs to Congress in June. Okay, so, all right. Let's dig in a little bit further. Let's go over to Jeremy Corbell. We just heard from him on Tucker. Here's what he posted on April 8th. It says the U.S. Navy filmed pyramid-shaped UFOs. On May 1st, 2021, there was a classified briefing, right? So let's put some context around this. Last year, right before the Floyd stuff, right in the middle of COVID, we had a classified briefing that was generated about UFO, unidentified flying objects, and unidentified aerial phenomenon presence via the Office of Naval Intelligence, so the ONI. They generate this briefing. Those familiar with the briefing articulated to me, to Jeremy, that the goal was to destigmatize the UAP problem, the phenomenon problem, and to promote more intelligence collection regarding incursions and encounters with active military deployments. So Jeremy Corbell got a leak from somebody who was privy to this briefing, and this is what they're telling him. The UAP briefing was built on a previous ONI briefing, which is the Office of Naval Intelligence, generated in 2019. Both were distributed across a wide range of intelligence networking platforms like SIPRNet and JWIX and other interlinked systems. I was able to obtain information regarding these and other related briefings, as well as 2 unclassified slides and some of the most intriguing military captured UAP footage I have ever seen. We just saw that on Tucker. So let's go through some of this. Mystery Wire is another website that sort of congregates all of these different claims, and they have independently verified that the visual images obtained by Corbell were prepared by the task force. So they're confirming Corbell. CNN's confirming Corbell, and Mystery Wire is also confirming Corbell. Pentagon responded on Friday last week, April 9th, or 2 weeks ago, for a request to comment on the images. They said, I can confirm that the reference photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel. The UAPTF has included these incidents in their ongoing examinations. As we have said before, to maintain operation security and to avoid disclosing information, DoD does not discuss publicly the details of either the observations or the examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designated as UAP. So we've got a couple things we can consider. You know, is it our government that is testing our own equipment on our own, defenses? Are we doing war games, right? This is not an uncommon thing. We are constantly testing ourselves. We have war games all the time where we're sort of playing with ourselves. The U.S. government is constantly playing with itself. So what is this, right? Is that this? Is this a foreign power that has hyper sophisticated technology that's sort of poking at us? Or is it actually aliens? Like, are these actual devices and creatures from another world? Or is it just our government, experimenting with some stuff and not telling us about it? Now, you might sort of want to lump yourself into that bucket, but there are some questions then about why our government is concerned about incursions into our training ranges, and they're sort of notifying other people about that, right? Hey, we want to gather more intelligence about this because there are people executing incursions onto our territory, onto our properties. That's a problem. If it's a war game, we don't need to gather information about any of that. So that might lead you to be more in that bucket, like this is somebody else. Maybe it's not the U.S. We don't know. Let's go through and take a look at some pictures. We have briefing and event series number 1. This is from Jeremy Corbell. He says, our first one we're going to look at is something that takes place aboard the USS Russell. This unidentified aerial phenomenon event took place July of 2019, involved Strike Group 9 within warning areas off of San Diego. The USS Russell observed and recorded multiple pyramid-shaped craft. Observations of this encounter series were noted in detail. So you're going to see this is what we're talking about. This is one of those slides from that ONI briefing that Jeremy is privy to. USS Russell observed 3 UNK UAS, seemingly triangular in shape. So 3. It's not just one, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. We got one there. All over the place. Seemingly triangular in shape from the angle of observation, hovering approximately 700 feet over the fantail. 2 of the UASs are pictured above. All right. So that's that. Let's take a look what we have here. Go check them out, extraordinarybeliefs.com. You saw those little pyramids floating through the sky. What the heck were those things? Were those weather balloons? Were those the Egyptian aliens? I don't know. Next event, we've got briefing number 2. This involved the USS Omaha. Observed and recorded a spherical-shaped craft. It was noted that the spherical craft was suspected to be a trans-medium vehicle. Okay, this leads me to believe that it is not U.S., and it might not even be China, unless they have trans-medium vehicles. Was observed descending into the water without destruction. Okay, so it's going from the air into the water at a high rate of speed without exploding. It just shifts mediums. Physical matter almost doesn't matter. It is noted that the spherical craft could not be found upon entry to the water. A submarine was even used in the search. Observation of this encounter series were noted in detail. Here's a slide from that. The USS Omaha observed a possible UAS, spherical in shape, moving towards the surface of the water, then disappearing. OMA assessed the object had sunk. Attempts to search the water for the wreckage were ineffective. So you see this little orb. Let me move myself over there. You can see I just read from this yellow box down here. This orb is, being tracked by whatever technology this is. Just goes right into the water, disappears. Navy goes and tries to find it. Can't find it. It's because it's a trans-medium vehicle. Hello? Our last event series involves an FA-18 pilot and a weapons systems officer on March 14, 2019. The event series took place in the W-72 warning area off the coast of Oceania. Series involves WSO taking personal mobile phone images of UAPs out of the cockpit. So these are pilots, right? FA-18 pilot and a weapons system officer. Intelligence briefing clarifies that they captured 3 different craft on the same sortie with the same cell phone. We have 3 of them. The Acorn UAP, the metal blimp with the payload, and we have the sphere. All right, so let's take a look at them. This first one, this is the metallic blimp. Now see, something like this, it actually looks like a metallic blimp, right? I'm not real sure that this is a space alien. I mean, it could be, I don't know. But it looks like a blimp. Looks like something that we have seen. Now, I am not an airline pilot, a weapons system officer, and I'm also not an FA-18 pilot. Would be cool if I was, though. I would guess that they would know the difference between this and an actual blimp, right? I'm a layperson. This looks like a blimp to me. But I'm going to guess that if you're in an FA-18, probably not used to seeing blimps at whatever altitude or location that they're in. So if that's not the case, what is that? Well, it could be a weather balloon, could be a Russian spy satellite, whatever, right? It could be something that is of this planet. Then we get this little thing. What the heck is this? This is the sphere. Right now, this looks a little bit different. This looks like something that doesn't fly. The blimp looks like, yeah, you fill that with some hydrogen, throw that up in the air. All right. This thing looks like a cell or like a cloud or like something that's kind of looks like a condom, actually, now that I think about it. But it's doesn't look like something that flies, does it? Looks like cloud, maybe. Could be aliens. This last one we have here is the Acorn. So let's take a look over here. You're going to notice down here we have this little floating acorn over here. and very far off image, but you can see they're quite high. You can almost see the curvature of the Earth up here. So I'm not sure what altitude that is, or if there are any other explanations. I'm sure some pilots and people who fly can articulate an alternative explanation, but these are fighter pilots, right? These are people who are up here regularly, and they're going, I don't know what that is. So, hey, John, grab your cell phone, take a picture of that. Take a picture of that. Take a picture of that. A little strange. What is going on up there? Who knows? U.S. intelligence agencies, they have 180 days from December. So this is coming up. When President Donald Trump signed $2.3 trillion into law in December, that began 180-day countdown. So Donald Trump is delivering on aliens from the grave. Congress needs to tell, intelligence agencies need to tell Congress what they know about UFOs. The Director of National Intelligence and the Secretary of Defense have a little less than 6 months now to provide the Congressional Intelligence and Armed Services Committees with an unclassified report about unidentified aerial phenomena. It's a stipulation that was tucked into the committee comment section of the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, which was contained in the massive spending bill. Report must contain detailed analyses of UFO data and intelligence collected by the ONI, the Office of Naval Intelligence, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, and the FBI, according to the Senate Intelligence Committee's directive. Does anybody think that we're going to get any of that data? I certainly do not. It should also describe in detail, quote, an interagency process for ensuring timely data collection and centralized analysis of all unidentified aerial phenomena reporting for the federal government, and designate an official responsible for that process. Maybe they'll put Kamala Harris in charge. Finally, the report should identify any potential national security threats posed by UFOs and assess whether any of the nation's adversaries could be behind such activity, the committee said. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. June is coming up pretty soon here. ET might be here sooner than you think. Let's take some questions over from watchingthewatchers.locals.com. And we've got our first from Norovira. Rob, you are only looking down the rabbit hole, read this UFO issue. Like 95% of the population. You are not even putting your foot in that rabbit hole. Not to mention sticking that in. Norovira, I'm sure you're going to educate me about the aliens, and I'm looking forward to it. I love these rabbit holes. They're so fun to go down. All right, so Sharon Quidney says, I'm just wondering how much the folks involved have invested in the movie industry. I can see a whole slew of new movies, serials, etc. Let's shake that moneymaker. X-Files 2.0, 3.0, etc. Yeah, I happen to love those TV shows. I'm okay with that. We have Patriot Musk says, Rob, do you think it's wise to reach out to extraterrestrials and bring them to our planet? In 2019, I probably would have said no, probably not a good decision. But in 2021, why not? What else? Let's just, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Why not? What else can they do? What else can they harm? Let's give it a shot. Let's roll the dice. Yeah. All right. Sharon Quidney says, yeah, okay. Unidentified aerial phenomena instead of unidentified flying objects. I guess that's more precise and now includes incandescent swamp gas, meteorites, bolide fireballs instead of implying that they were manned or unmanned manufactured objects. I know. It's a lot of possibilities out there in this world. What could it be? We have _shades says it's a UFO, not UAP. Why do they change the name after 60 years? UFO. It's probably some consultant. They probably paid somebody like $100,000 to make that decision. And I'm not even kidding you, right? We have Norovira says, maybe I shouldn't have made this comment, but the 5% people know why they are doing this now. Oh, I see where this is going. There's been a plan in place for quite some time to reveal the existence of aliens over the last 10 years and to do it now after the pandemic. This is part of the plan. Slow leaks of info, not to freak people out. Yeah, there's something to that. it is weird, right? Have you noticed that we're having a lot more UFO talk just in general? It is almost becoming a little bit acclimated. Like Tucker has on somebody who says, hey, the Pentagon just confirmed that there's UFOs here, or UAPs or whatever. And like the big news is Maxine Waters, right? It's okay. We have Anki Woe says, color me skeptic, but I tend to think the convenient release of this is most likely some scheme to distract the public from some other nefarious project they need to petition printing tons of money for to give to the DOD. I think that's probably the most accurate analysis of what's happening here, right? The government is just being the government. The government is governmenting. We have It's Ed said, misdirection. They are just trying to get the public's attention away from something else, probably something the public wouldn't approve of, happens all the time. Yeah, and so you notice that, right? Like you notice that they just dangle things. They throw some red meat out there so that everybody gets fixated on it. Then they pass multi-trillion-dollar spending bills and wreck the public in other ways while we're all focused on whatever happened in Hollywood that day. Liberty or Death says these UFOs are not from our government or any other nation's government. I have it on good authority. They are from Maxine Anus. Oh, yeah. Maxine Anus is the origin story from these UFOs. There's a lot of stuff coming out of Maxine Anus these days. We have Anki Woe, who says, I also think that if there are alien beings that can travel across galaxies, we'd be too primitive for them to be interested in. Most likely, this will be another excuse to implement a mass surveillance program to monitor all of us. Yeah, it's for our own safety. They have to protect us from the fictional aliens, you see? Maybe Dr. Fauci will come out and say, these pyramids are a public health emergency. You need to wear 3 masks. Because the aliens also have COVID and you need to social distance from the aliens. Otherwise, you will die of COVID. Liberty or Death says, looks like the aliens from Kung Pao enter the fist. Which one was that? I can't say I've ever seen that one. So I don't get the reference. I apologize, Liberty. We have Bianca Realty. Sounds like part of the takeover, the Great Reset, printing organs, going to Mars, etc. Very convenient that after all these years, they choose to release these triangles now. Please, yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that sort of out there. It's like they're leaking little bits of information to us in order to distract us from some of the more pernicious problems. We have Joe Snow says that sphere looks like the dish that appears when the F-35s break sonic barrier. Oh, all right. See, so there you go. Yeah, and that's the question, right? Is are there other sort of reasonable explanations for some of these things? The reason why it's easy for me to kind of dismiss the reasonable explanations is because these are fighter pilots. You know, they're flying around the skies. They see a lot of stuff. They know how things move. If you are interested in this, there was a great Joe Rogan podcast back when there was really available on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's available on YouTube now anymore, but he had a great episode with somebody. I can't remember the guy's name. Just look it up. Joe Rogan, UFO guy. He comes in and he talks about the pill and about how it was moving so rapidly all over the place. And these are guys with, a decade of fighter pilots experience. And so if they're telling you something's out of the ordinary, it might be worth listening to, And so that's what kind of leads me to be curious about this. Pinky 2 says, Rob, what about Roswell? UFOs have been sighted for many decades. This is not new. It's not new, I think, but I think what's new about this is that the government is sort of confirming this, and we have now conversations about it. This is why I'm talking about it. It's because we have a coming up in June, there's supposed to be a report that gets delivered to Congress, unclassified, that details what's going on here. So I think that is new. I think that the fact that our government is sort of opening themselves up to having a conversation about some of this stuff is why this is newsworthy. We have at Be Brave says, are you saying the Biden administration should be transparent? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they should, all of our government should. They should all be transparent. Because how can we know how corrupt and broken they are if we can't see inside? They're our government. We are not their subjects. Okay, they operate off our taxes, off our legitimacy. We empower them. So they should be telling us what they're doing, not the other way around. Not like, oh, are you going to give that to us, government? Thank you. We've been very nice here. We've been good children. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, please? Oh, that's okay. You don't want to tell us this time? That's all right. We'll wait till next year. Okay, thanks. Norovirus says UAP name change is part of a big not freak people out part. Start fresh with new terminology. Oh, okay. Okay. We've got chairman of the board. The last one on the queue for the day says the truth is out there. Watching the watchers. UFWTWWTWO. Maybe they're watching this broadcast. Maybe they're coming. Beat me up. I'm ready. All right. Great questions. Good stuff today from everybody over on locals.com. Thank you for that. Thanks for supporting the show and asking great questions. Want to welcome the new arrivals who signed up over the weekends. We've got Newbie of Death. Welcome to the community. We have Leafy Bug. Leafy Bug. Wasn't that from Shrek? Leafy Bug. Was it? I think it was. We have Queen Gorgo. What's up, Queen Gorgo? Welcome. We got Taylor 45 in the house. Big welcome to Truth Reigns. We have Paige who signed up. We have the Tea Lover. We have Starscream 1540. And we have Pepperoni who signed up. You can all go and join and support the show at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. Big thank you to those of you who asked questions and left great comments today. You know who you are. You're on the list. And as always, want to say thanks to everybody else who is a part of the community. You know, we talk about building a separate pillar where we can go as people and have conversations with each other, connect with people. You may have noticed that as I have been doing this show, I've gotten to know many of you, right? Many people on this list, I sort of feel like we know each other. Like I know some things about you, and that's the power of community. By creating a different platform over on locals.com, we are sort of insulating ourselves a little bit against some of the other big tech platforms. If YouTube says you're gone, Twitter says you're gone, or if any of these other platforms just say, we're not going to let, anybody talking conservatives or free speech or any of those things, they don't want us on the platform. That's all right. We have our own community. We're sort of building things elsewhere. Watching the Watchers is where we are doing that. And that's happening over on our locals community, which is available at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. If you want to check out the community, you can grab all of this stuff. First and foremost is the book, Beginning to Winning. It's a free PDF that's available for download over there at watchingthewatchers.locals.com. You can also check out my slides. All of the slides I went to, you can download those. The impeachment party documents are available. My existence system, personal productivity template is over there. We share links and conversations throughout the day. But the real reason to be over there is the great people. You saw many of them. You heard from many of them today during the show. And so head on over to watchingthewatchers.locals.com, sign up, support the show, get to meet some new people, download a copy of the book, download a copy of the slides, and have a lot of fun while you're doing it. It's a good place to be. And before we finish the show, I got one final thing I want to tell you about. I happen to be a criminal defense lawyer here at the R&R Law Group, where my team and I, we've helped thousands of good people facing criminal charges find safety, clarity, and hope in their cases and in their lives. We're very good at what we do. We have a passion for helping people. So if you happen to know anybody in the state of Arizona who has been charged with a crime, we can help. We help people with DUIs, domestic violence, drug cases, misdemeanors, felonies, old mugshots, old warrants. If you want to restore your rights so you can vote again, so you can possess a firearm again, go apply for federal benefits, go get a house somewhere, or apply for an apartment building without having to check all those boxes off. We can help with all of it, and we offer free case evaluations. We're in Scottsdale, so if you happen to know anybody in the state of Arizona who needs a little bit of help, we would be honored and humbled if you sent them our way so that we could have the opportunity to help. And we'd be forever grateful. And that, my friends, is it for me. Got to figure out what the heck we're talking about tomorrow, since we're not going to have a lot of activity in the Chauvin trial, or will we? We don't know. We never know. But we are going to be back to cover that and more. We're going to be diving into all of it. There's a lot to get to. I know it. So I want to invite you to be back here with us tomorrow at that time. Same place, same time, 4 p.m. Arizona, which is the same time in California, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. in Texas, in East Coast in Florida for Florida Man. Everybody, have a tremendous night. Sleep well. Have a hearty, healthy dinner. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.